Hello, greetings, shalom, welcome home my family, my brothers, my sisters, my sacred unit here that I can always rely on. I'm so grateful for this space and this opportunity. My interest for coming here today is partially because I have not openly spoken on what I've been doing on Instagram. So I thought, well, what if I came here and went live and talked a little bit about what I'm doing on Instagram? Because isn't it better to see me live and talking and being in real life instead of just like having text messages and hiding behind text messages what my offering is? I don't know, so I thought maybe it would be wise, plus the fact that I haven't come on here and talked about what I'm talking about on Instagram. So I made all these writings, which I love writing so much, and I enjoy challenging thinking, and I enjoy changing mindsets, especially if you choose that you don't want to think the way you've been thinking, or you don't want to feel the way you've been thinking, which means we need to change the thinking to change the feelings, right? So I recently created this offering where I am using different resources. So I'm playing with Zoom. I've also used Facebook, I've used Instagram, and basically any avenue of nonverbal communication. So I love using video, I love seeing you. My friend's texting me right now. I'm attempting to get really clear in my boundaries. So creating definitives and lines and boxes, if you will. And that is very much so removed from how I'm normally operating, which is why I'm attempting to go to all these places that I'm going. And I could go into more detail of that. However, instead, at this time, I'm going to go into the specifics of what I'm attempting to do and what I've been doing and where this is going and what I'd like to do. So I'm working with another establishment or an application, an app you can get on your phone. It's called Voxer. And Voxer is this app that is a walkie-talkie app where we can record our voice and communicate back and forth. You can also send pictures. I don't know what other offerings are on there, and I'm not paying for their application, and I'm not sponsored by them and things like this. It's just been an application that's been useful for what I like to do, because like on Instagram, you're very limited. Like I'm only allowed to record my voice for 59 seconds. And Facebook allows me to record my voice. However, it doesn't always seem like the best platform to communicate and to create those dynamics, at least not yet, or maybe that hasn't really been my intention, you could say. I haven't been trying to use Facebook as the means of operation. However, I'm basically like open and have this invitation right now where we can use multiple platforms, but the goal is to have most of the time nonverbal communication. However, sometimes there are verbal communications that are necessary. That's what makes the Voxer app so convenient, because it's holding space for allowing there to be a time limit, if you will. I'm hearing micro sounds, excuse me, as I become sensitive to, keep wanting to call it micro noise, but it's like tiny little screeches, if you will, or resonances. There's other words for that, what that's called, but the noise is very distracting me. I'm not sure if you can hear that. I have acute hearing like a dog, you could say, where I can hear those like little whistlings and they can kind of throw me off. So I apologize. I'll attempt to block out the hearing and tuning in of being able to hear that, and try to concentrate and focus that my intention is to work on mindfulness and meditation, and to kind of like lead you into a place where you feel safe to be with some feelings and ideas that perhaps are very uncomfortable for you to be with. I'm called to go to those places and sometimes to activate or intentionally bring up those things so that we can consciously work on them. And it's not always very, very pleasant to be in that, right? Which is why many times you may compartmentalize or dissociate or not organize yourself to be in those states of consciousness or those states of awareness. So maybe you smoke cigarettes or take a lot of coffee, or maybe you have your own stimulant or a thing that we can joke that you're addicted to and that you love to do to feel good, right? So I'm inviting you to not associate with the addictive personality and to give in to that automatic response, to not associate with the feeling, not associate with the emotion, to be disorganized in your attachment, and to instead, I'm inviting you to be uncomfortable and to be doing the inner work. And at the same time, I'm only willing to do this for an eco-energetic exchange. And sometimes there is a clear boundary of exactly how much money this is, right? Like, I am holding the boundary right now that it's $75 if you would like to do a consultation. Like, if you've never sat with me in ceremonial space where it's the intention, where we're focused on healing and working on trauma or a particular injury or thing that keeps expressing itself, then we have the boundary of 30 minutes, $75. So this energetic boundary of $75 makes it so that only people who are truly ready, right? People who aren't going to be like, oh, I don't want to give her money, blah, blah, what am I going to get out of this? No, but they have an openness of like, okay, I'm going to give this $75 and then I'm willing to see like what happens for me. And the more that the person is in a space of actually having receptivity and actually associating with all of themselves, instead of saying, that part of me is not welcome here, that part of me, oh, ignore that, oh no, don't do that, and having that disorganization within the self and the internal conflict, that instead I'm inviting you into a state of witnessing. And in some levels, I'm happy to give you this information for free, which is what I'm doing right now in this moment too, also by even talking about these things and bringing them to your own awareness. And then the same thing for yourself with your energetic boundaries, that let's say you're really intelligent and you spent so much time of your life studying this particular topic and that you know so much about, and if people want to get information and energy out of you, that they have to at the bare minimum pay you $5, right? Or maybe that is too low, and or maybe it's the other way, that it's like, oh, you don't have the self-worth belief of allowing yourself to make that much money for the exchange of what they will get out of that. Maybe you don't know the value of that. Maybe you're indifferent, or maybe it's the other way, that you recognize like, I've spent 10,000 hours of my life studying this and doing this, and then I want to make this much money and I want to do this, and all these different motives are driving you. And sometimes these things are subconscious and automatically expressing themselves without thought, and therefore we're ending up in different dilemmas or different paradigms of relationships where we're not really happy and satisfied with the outcomes of the relationship because we're putting in certain fruits or labors or efforts and we're not getting the desired fruit of our intended actions, right? However, I'm a big believer, so I like to think that we are getting exactly what we need, and we are growing and we are evolving, and things are expressing themselves as they're meant to, so that we have the opportunity to rise up into our positions. And each of us has a different position, you can say. For example, what is your personal position with joy and happiness? Are you resistant to feeling joy and happiness because you're afraid you're going to lose your joy and your happiness? Do you not care about being happy and you just let go of the idea that that's possible for you? So, and then there's other people who are in other dimensions, you can say, or other altered states of thinking, altered states of consciousness, where they are constantly seeking to feel good. That there is not allowed a moment of suffering in their life. And sometimes they're not even able to identify or associate with suffering. They don't even know what it is. And perhaps that comes in different dimensions of space too. Perhaps they've never had a financial suffering. Maybe they've never had an emotional suffering. And maybe it's not yet. Maybe it's not the right timing. There's so many different dimensional aspects, and my ego enjoys the idea that we can possibly protect people from that. However, at the same time, as we study ancient ways of being and living, we can see that suffering is part of the agreement of being here, and how suffering is a richness within itself. So if you feel called, and you're called to see me or hear me or speak to me and work with me, I'm happy to work out an eco-energetic exchange. If you are having financial struggles at this time, I will never let money be the reason why we cannot communicate and we cannot work on things and have the healing and love and affection and attention and nurturance that is needed in order to be of the highest service, to be of the highest, best version of ourselves and things like this. So it's very, very important. I do appreciate the question that is asked here. However, this is not the time to bring up those dynamics and to bring up that situation. However, I have a belief system that says because of my relationship in that manner, it is how I have shown up to be the version of myself I am today. Because of what I have had and what I have not had, it has created a space to allow me to be all that I am now. And I am going to continue to grow and to learn how to love me. We can say how to parent me, how to coach me, how to motivate me. I am not a money motivated person. However, I greatly enjoy some of the things that come from having money to motivate the circumstances. For example, I am living in a world where I cannot travel. I cannot go see my family without money. So in some levels, there is a need to have money so that I can travel the world, so that I can see other people. Yes? I mean, there's obviously the other way, however, that requires the other person to have money. Money is still the means and the vessel how the person can travel to me, to be with me. Yes, there's other paradigms of having friends who have planes. Yes, but still that also takes money in some other levels as well. So there's different dimensional aspects, and then another play that I can bring to the space for free is looking at words specifically. What does having money mean to you? What does having a relationship mean to you? And then we can look at where is what we think not true. That it's not true that you have to sacrifice yourself in order to have money or in order to have a relationship. Or that they are unpleasant. Not every relationship is unpleasant. Your relationship with money does not have to be unpleasant. Your relationship with yourself does not have to be unpleasant. Your relationship with God does not have to be unpleasant or limited through seeing God only in the plants or seeing only God in limited boxes. Yes? Infiniteness, almighty, all creation. Thank you so much for joining me and this sharing. Good job, Josh. Josh. I would love to have a personal communication with you if you're open to that. Happy to have these discussions. Again, this is a very different, you could say, sacred or ceremonial space. Adam, nice to see you. Very, very nice to see you. And thank you so much for your blessings and your prayers. I am in agreement and I accept them. I totally accept them. Happy Testimony Tuesday. Yes, Josh, I'm a very, very open person. I don't know how long you've been subscribed or a member of this place I have created on this interdimensional web offering, right? So I'm actually, what I will say on this topic is that I'm waiting for a very, very special time. And you could see it's going to be a very, very sad time in my life when I am at this time choosing to bring some things into the open. And part of that is out of honor. Honor, respect, integrity. And also I'm in my own process of identifying and associating with myself and also re-narrating. So imagine in the past we said one thing about ourselves and that we believed and we thought that this is an absolute truth. And let's play and say that it's, I am nobody. I am meaningless. My life has no purpose. I have no idea why I'm here. And then let's say that over time that expresses itself into another, what I like to call a gene type, okay? A different genetic expression of life, where suddenly I am feeling that I can see meaning of why I'm here. I can see what is lacking. I can see what is hurting. And then I can see how I can love and how I can show up, and the reflection and the counterpart to those avenues. So that is where I am led with instruction to bring love and to bring identification and to bring acceptance, and I'd like to call it unconditional allowance, almost like submission and surrender and allowing. And for me, that's a very spiritual practice of edification, of removing my ego, removing my judgment, removing my analytical storyteller who is inventing and in this world of make-believe about people, places, and things. And one of my favorite ways to play with this thought is, how can I say that I know who you are and that I love you if I am not loving me? And I am not knowing who I am if I do not understand what is this human organism, what is hair, what is teeth, what is each nerve ending, what does it mean, what is the connection of the physical expression to the spiritual embodiment and the resonance and the harmonies and the vibrations of every cellular organism within my body, down to the micro organisms of bacteria in my gut that makes me crave food, down to like the expression of my nails, whether someone's a nail biter or someone's putting on acrylics and fake nails every day, and how that makes them feel and how they show up differently because they put their makeup on, because they dressed in a certain way, because they express in this. And sometimes, at least in my process of witnessing, I've noticed, where are we masking? Where are we putting on these garments, right? Trying to have a perceptive receiving, right? Like, for example, imagine someone wearing their favorite band t-shirt. But let's say they're wearing their favorite band t-shirt because they want to attract other people who like the band. So they're wearing it with the intention to get other people to get something, right? They're not wearing it because it feels good to wear that color and to wear that. You understand? It's like operating out of different motives and different intentions. And really, maybe you're so much more than liking that particular band. Maybe there's like a part of you who grows out of liking that band. This makes me think of some jokes I could tell, but perhaps I will save that for my clients who are actually wanting to hear that instead of giving you, meaningless information about myself and storytelling, etc. So I'm just going to hold space on that. And it's a really funny joke, actually, involving a very particular band from my childhood, and it involves my dad, and my dad making a joke about it now. So if you want to know about that, feel free in our private one-on-ones. We can go into that. Maybe I'll bring that to the public space in another time. But as stated, I came here with the intention of speaking about my offering, being very clear in my offering. And if you're curious about my offering, you can go on Instagram if you would like to hear it. Right now, I'm offering an entire month of one-on-one where we have undivided attention on your attention for $250 for the entire month. And I'm telling you, that's a deal, and it's really priceless. Your attention is priceless. My attention is priceless. My life is priceless. I cannot buy my time ever again. And if you choose The invitation is there. I also have a one-on-one Voxer opening. This is Voxer only. That means no video chats and no other forms of communication, no private one-on-one calls, unlike this other offering I'm putting out there is going to include. One-on-one Voxer only coaching is $400 for the month. So if you'd like to have that, that's an offering too. If you just want to try just one day with me on Voxer and just have undivided attention on you and your situation and what you're going through and deeply listening and intuitive resonance, then that is $100. And you can send the payment of $100, $400, $1,200, whichever session you are guided to have with me, $250. Today is the last day for the $250 for 30 days, and we can begin that whenever you choose. So if you send the $250 today and you're like, hey, I want to begin in May for 30 days for my birthday, you're welcome to that too. And I'm holding space for you, and I know that if it's meant for you, it's going to happen. I am going to be doing more offerings, so please do not be in any scarcity, any belief systems that you're going to miss out. It's not true. I promise you, when you're ready for me and you're really willing to go into these things and to be seen in these places where you've been abused or you've been hurt, and these things that are taking over your mind and hurting you every day, and that you're becoming the bully in your own mind and all these things, I promise you. And there's so much information out there for free, and only you can heal yourself. Only you can do this inner work. Only you can see you. Only you can listen to what you want to do. Only you can do the actions that you need to do so that you are happy and proud of you. Okay? And I have to confess that some of that might be a little bit of repentance, meaning that you're like, oh, I'm so sorry I kicked this person in the face. I'm so sorry I did this. And you beating yourself up. Well, you don't have to beat yourself up every day, all day, every day for what you did 10 years ago. We can forgive ourselves. You are forgiven. The sins can be forgiven. It's done. It's written. It's finished. It's no mas. And from this point on until now, right? You were a grumpy old man until now, and now you are happy and grateful and honored to be breathing. And perhaps you're not, and you choose to keep smoking and keep showing the signs and signals that you don't want to be here in all these unspoken ways. However, I'm inviting you to feel good. I'm inviting you to go home in a way that doesn't feel like we're clenching. Hi, Michael Murphy. Muhammad, I miss you, Muhammad. Muhammad, alhamdulillah. Please, let us chat in video one-on-one soon. Please, 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 please. I know you're working so much, but I still would absolutely love to have another discussion with you. I feel like it's time, and it would be way better than just doing back and forth emails. I would just really love to see you again. Big hugs to you and all your family. Let me just read some of the comments here. Oh, Dios te bendiga, Dios te bendiga. God bless you. Thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Business travel. Okay, okay. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Attempt to remove yourself from your judgments. That is also part of this work. If you are judging, analyzing, critiquing, criticizing, this is not a fun place to be. You are going to be unhappy. And imagine how people are going to treat you when you energetically are not speaking these things but treating them in this way. Understood? Okay, you think that they're going to stop their habits and their addictions from your judgment and your criticism and harassment? Is that how you changed? I don't think so. I think that eventually our heart changes and we just don't want to do these things anymore because we don't want to hurt the people that we love. We don't want to hurt ourselves anymore because we love ourselves. So we no longer want to do these things. So it doesn't have to be a force. Poquito español, mi amor. Deki, gracias. Some friends are entering. Hello, my friend named Deki. It's nice to see you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Gracias. Gracias. I will be back again if you feel like you need more, you want to see me more. I'm happy to have one-on-one private video chats. And again, I'm happy to negotiate.